Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Muhammad Obaid and this is another video of Basics of Structural Analysis series. In this video we are going to solve another problem. So let us see. So this is our problem. This is a single supported beam subjected to 2 point loads. One is 30 kN and the other one is 20 kN. In this problem we are going to find out the slope at support A and support D. We will also find out the deflection at point B and deflection at point C by using conjugate beam method. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. If you like this video, please share this video, and if you have any confusion regarding any point in this problem, please comment down in the comment box and I will try to answer all your comment as soon as possible. So let us start the solution of this problem without any further delay. So we have a simple supported beam, okay, and at this we have pin support and at this end we have a roller support. The load is 30 kN and the load at point C is 20 kilonewton. Okay, and this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, and this distance is 4 meter and the distance between B to C is 2 meter and the distance between C to D is also 2 meters. Okay, so let us assume that this is a reaction at A, RA, and the reaction at support D is RD. There will be no horizontal reaction at this pin support because there is no horizontal loading on this beam. Okay, so as we are going to solve this problem by using conjugate beam method, so first of all we have to change this real beam. Okay, let us call this beam as real beam. Okay, so we have to change this real beam into its conjugate beam. Okay, so let me write here conjugate beam. First of all we have to change the support conditions, okay, from real beam to conjugate beam. So as we have learned in our first video of this series, conjugate beam series, we have seen that if we have a pin support then we don't have to change this support, okay, while converting the real beam into conjugate beam. So we will just put the pin support as it is, and also this is also true when we have a pin support. Okay, so we don't have to change the support conditions of real beam to convert into conjugate beam. Okay, so the support condition will remain same. Now what about loading? So to apply the loading in conjugate beam we have to first find out the M by EI diagram. To draw the M by EI diagram, we have to draw the bending moment diagram of this real beam. Okay, so first of all we have to find out these reactions RA and RD. So let us take the summation of moment about A is equal to 0 and clockwise direction as positive. So the first moment will be due to this 30 kilonewton force. Okay, so it will be 30 into 4 because we are considering the moment about A. The next will be 20 multiplied by 6. Okay, and the final moment will be due to this reaction RD. So it will be 4 plus 2 plus 2, it will be 8. So it will be 8 RD is equal to 0. So from here you will get the value of RD as 30 kilonewtons. Now we have got the value of one reaction, so we can find out the value of the reaction by using summation of forces in y direction is equal to 0. Okay, and taking upward direction as positive. So first we have RA, then we have minus 30 kN minus 20 kN, then again we have RD which is acting in the upward direction. Okay, so we don't know the value of RA, it will be minus 50. We know the value of RD, so RD is 30 equal to 0. So from here we will get the value of RA as 20 kilonewtons. Okay, now we know the value of RA and RD, so we can find out the bending moment at B and C. There is no UDL, there is no UVL. Okay, so the bending moment will be having straight lines. So first of all let us find the M at B. Okay, bending moment at B. So bending moment at B will be RA into 4. So the value of RA is 20 into 4. So it will be 80 kilonewton meter, and the bending moment at C will be 2 times RD. Okay, we are considering the bending moment at C from this side, so it will be RD multiplied by 2. Okay, the bending moment will be positive because RD is acting upward, so 2 times 30, so it will be 60 kilonewton meter. Okay, now we know the value of bending moment at B and C, and the bending moment at A and D will be 0. So now we can draw the bending moment diagram for the given problem. It's very easy. So sorry, this is our reference line. This is A, B, C and D. At B we have bending moment 80. Okay, this is 80, and at C we have bending moment of 60 kilonewton meter. So this will be a straight line, and this line will also be a straight line. Now this is our M diagram, or you can say that diagram as bending moment diagram. Okay, now this is our M diagram, but to apply the load in this conjugate beam we need the M by EI diagram. So how to convert this diagram into M by EI diagram? Just divide this M diagram by EI. EI, what is EI? EI is the flexural rigidity of the beam. So in this problem we have not considered any type of variation in I. Okay, so let me write here that EI is constant. EI is constant. Okay, so EI is constant. It means that the M by EI diagram will be same as our M diagram. Okay, so just write this EI. Okay, and the diagram will not change. The diagram will remain same as our M diagram. If there is a variation in I, okay, if there is a variation in I, then the diagram will be changed, as we have seen in our previous video of cantilever beam. Okay, so now this is our M by EI diagram. So this is positive, this is positive. Now how to apply this M by EI diagram on the conjugate beam as the loading? So in our first video where we learned about the basics of this method, we have understood that if the bending moment is positive, if the bending moment diagram is positive, or you can say M by EI diagram is positive, then this diagram, or you can say this diagram, will be applied as the upward acting loading on the conjugate beam. Okay, this diagram will be applied as the upward acting loading on the conjugate beam. So let me draw what I am trying to say. First of all, I should erase this. So now I will draw it. So this is our pin support, this is our roller support, this is A, B and C, B, C, D, A. Okay, so here we have 80 divided by EI, and at C we have 60 divided by EI. Okay, and all these lines are straight lines. So this will be a straight line. So as I have told you that the bending moment is positive because all the moments are sagging moments. So this M by EI diagram will be applied as upward loading on the conjugate beam. So here the direction of the loading will be upward like this. Okay, so this is our final conjugate beam. Okay, so this is our final conjugate beam. Now I hope you have understood very clearly how to convert a real beam into conjugate beam. Now we have to find out the slope at supports and deflection under these 2 point load B and C. So let us see how we will find out those things. So this is our beam, and as we have learned in the first introductory video that if we want to find out the slope in real beam, then we have to find out the shear force in conjugate beam. Okay, and if we want to find out the deflection at a point in real beam, then we have to find out the bending moment at that point in conjugate beam. So to find out the bending moment and shear force in conjugate beam, we have to know the reactions. Okay, so as I have drawn here, let us assume that the reaction at RA is RA dash and the reaction at D is RD dash. So first of all, we will take summation of moments of forces about A is 0, taking clockwise direction as positive. So first we will have the moment due to this triangular loading, then we will have moment due to this trapezoidal loading, then we will have moment due to this triangular loading, and finally we will have moment due to this reaction RD dash about A. So let us take the moment due to this triangular loading first. So it will be minus because it is acting in the anti-clockwise direction. So it will be 1 by 2 times 4. 4 is the length of the base, and sorry, it is 80 divided by EI multiplied by the distance of CG. So CG will be somewhere here. So the distance of CG will be 2 by 3 multiplied by 4. Okay. So this is the moment due to this triangular loading. Now we will write the moment due to this trapezoidal loading. So it is very easy. The area of this trapezoid is 1 by 2 times 80 divided by EI plus 60 by EI multiplied by the length of the base BC. Okay, it is 2. Now this is the area. So this area will be further multiplied by the distance of CG of this trapezoid from A. So the distance will be 80 plus 2 times 60 divided by 80 plus 60 multiplied by 2 by 3 plus 4. Okay, so this is the distance of CG from A of this trapezoidal loading. The other one will be due to this. Okay, it will be negative because it is also acting in the anti-clockwise direction. And now we will write the moment due to this triangular loading. So the ordinate is 60 by EI. So it will be 1 by 2 times multiply by 2 into 60 by EI. Very simple. And multiply by distance of CG of this triangle from A. So it is 6 plus 2 by 3. Okay. Now we have written down all the moment due to this loading. Now we will write the final moment due to this reaction RD. So it is acting in the clockwise direction and we have taken clockwise direction as positive. So it will be 8 RD dash and it will be equal to 0. Okay. Now after solving all these equations, so first due to this, so we will get solving this, we will get 426.67 divided by EI, the sign is negative, minus from here we will get 693.33 divided by EI, and from here we will get minus 400 divided by EI plus 8 RD dash is equal to 0. Okay, and from here we will get the value of RD dash as 190 divided by EI. Now we have got the value of one reaction, so we can find out the value of other reaction by using sigma Fi is equal to 0. Okay, so we will write sigma Fi means summation of forces in y direction is equal to 0. Okay, so this is our sigma Fi. Now first of all we have this Ra dash and Rd dash which are acting in the downward direction, so these are taken here as negative, Rd dash positive plus, and the forces due to this loading area will be positive because these are acting in the upward direction. Okay, so let me write here first due to the triangle 1 by 2 times 2 into 80 by EI. Okay, and then we have trapezoid the loading, so it will be 1 by 2 80 by EI plus 60 by EI multiplied by the base, which is 2 meters plus 1 by 2 times multiply by 2 by 60 EI. Okay, and it will be equal to 0. Sorry, one thing which is incorrect here, it is this. So 1 by 2 times multiply by 4, it is 4. The base of the first triangle is 4 meters. Okay, so this is the final equation, and from in this equation we know the value of RD. Okay, so we will just put the value of RD and solve for RA. So from calculation we will get the value of RA as 1 by 70 EI. Now we have got the values of reactions RA dash and RD dash, so we can find out the shear force and bending moment at any point in this beam. Okay, which will ultimately give the slope and deflection in our real beam. Okay, so in the question it is mentioned to find out the slope at A and slope at D. Okay, so in the conjugate beam we have to find out the shear force at A and shear force at D to get the slope, as I have written here that in real beam slope and in conjugate beam it represents shear force. Okay, so this is our real beam and this is our conjugate beam, and we have to find out the slope at A, slope at D, and deflection under these 2 points B and C. So the slope at A, theta A, in real beam will be equal to shear force at A in conjugate beam. So the shear force at A will be minus RA dash, and it is equal to minus 170 divided by EI. So the value of slope at A in real beam is equal to minus 170 by EI. So we have got the negative sign. It means that the final answer of slope at A will be 170 by EI clockwise. Okay, all these sign convention we have discussed in our introductory lecture of this conjugate beam method. Okay, and one important thing about the sign convention for shear force, that is the shear force is acting like this, it will be positive, and the shear force is acting like this, it will be negative. According to the sign convention I have taken this negative sign here. Okay, now the slope at D in real beam will be equal to shear force at shear force at D in conjugate beam. So the shear force at D in conjugate beam is plus RD dash, and it will be equal to 190 by EI. Now we have got positive sign for the slope at D, which means that the final answer of this slope will be 190 by EI, and this slope is in anti-clockwise direction like this. Okay, so this is our slope at D. So we have got the values of slope at A and slope at suppose D. We will find out the deflection at B and deflection at C. So to find out the deflection at D, we have to find out the bending moment at D in conjugate beam. Okay, so first of all I will write here deflection at B in real beam is equal to bending moment at B in conjugate beam. So the bending moment at B in conjugate beam will be due to these two loadings. First this RA dash and the other one is this triangular loading. So the bending moment at B due to this RA dash will be RA multiplied by 4, and due to this triangular loading we have to find out the area, and we will multiply the area by the distance of CG, which is 4 by 3, because we are considering the bending moment at B. Okay, so I will write down here, so minus RA dash. Why minus? Because RA dash is acting downward, it is creating hogging moment at B, plus 1 by 2 times 4 into 80 divided by EI multiplied by 4 by 3, which is the distance of CG of the triangular loading from B. And we know the value of RA, so I will just put the value 4 times 170 divided by EI, plus it will be 2 to the 4, and it will be 640 divided by 3 EI, and after calculation you will get the value of delta V as minus 466.67 divided by EI. Okay, so this is the value of delta B. Now this is negative, which means, or you can write as delta B is equal to 466.6 divided by EI in the downward direction. Okay, now we have got the value of deflection at B. We will find out the value of deflection at C. So deflection at C in real beam is equal to bending moment at C in conjugate beam, and the bending moment at C in conjugate beam will be due to this RD dash reaction and due to this triangular loading, okay, on the span CD. So I will just write down minus 2RD dash plus 1 by 2 times 2, which is the base, multiply by 60 divided by EI into 2 by 3. Okay, so this is the moment due to the triangular loading. So we know the value of RD, and it will be 2 times 190 divided by EI plus 120 by 3 EI, and after calculation you will get the value of delta C as minus 340 divided by EI. Okay, again we are getting a negative sign, which means that the deflection at C is in downward direction. Okay, so this is the final value of delta C. So this is it for this video. We will meet in our next video. Thanks for watching.